but we have got to adapt ourselves to these massive, massive changes in the way we live, in the way we work, and in the way we actually communicate and relate to our own family. It's a shame we can't even reach out to a family and go visit our own family. We could never imagine that our own, parents, we've got to, think twice about visiting them. Our own friends thinking twice about visiting them. Why? It's happening. It's a shame. Changes in technology or new technologies coming in. Again, we discussed this back end, in the front end, in the middleware. We're talking about open architectures now. It's no more about closed architectures. If you look at Microsoft House now, the technology stack of House Microsoft, they're now getting more and more open. Cloud transformation, we're talking about putting everything on the cloud, making everything available on the fly. And that's, again, a major, major change in the approach towards technology. Open source, open systems, open source, open application interfaces, open cloud ability to work with any kind of a platform and not just a specific set of tools and technologies. And also digital transformation, the focus on digital, everything digital, and drive everything mobile, everything online. So if you see, there's a massive shift that is happening in the technology space as well, and we can't ignore this, and that could be based on that. And then you have got the changes in legislations. The GDPR, for instance, the privacy rule, for example, that was introduced by the EU and then followed by most of the countries, is basically, again, a massive shift in terms of how we're using the data of our customers, of the users who visit our websites or any of the other application products that they use. So it's all about specifying and then being open to them about how we're going to use their data, and then telling them in advance and being open, again, no secrecy. Sorry. It could also be the fact that we're talking about banking changes. Some of the open banking is coming in. You've got a lot of different legislations, a lot of new players in the banking. Now we've got things like, for example, the disruptor banks. We're not talking the traditional banks nowadays. You've got cryptocurrencies which have come through, alternative currencies. We've got all of these kind of Monzo Bank, for instance, or Revolut. All of these are disruptors, Sterlite banking. So they're all trying to, Starling Bank, all of these are trying to actually, kind of disrupt the banking world, disrupt the normal things. Uber has disrupted the way we actually kind of, travel. Uber, and then you've got all the Airbnb disrupting how we book the accommodation. Amazon disrupted how we buy and, started off with books, and then later it's all pretty much everything. So it's all about how we can manage and have a better control on this explosion of options. And that's where the legislation, some of the legislations, the rules and the regulatory stuff would actually help. So in terms of these, they've got the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, and some of the other authorities which actually say this is how you should try and regulate the financial markets. The healthcare, HL7, HIPAA, to actually kind of regulate the healthcare, the hospitals and stuff like that. So it's all about, all of these different legislations, everything keeps changing. It's not a static world. Changes in environmental aspects. I can't stress enough of these. Again, massive changes in the way that we are approaching things. No plastic. We've been watching all of these fantastic episodes of Mr. Attenborough, and then looking at some of the fantastic ways that he's trying to transform the way we think. And same with some of these young students and young people. They're trying to actually think the way we are approaching things. They're asking us to think global, make sure that we are having little impact on the environmental aspect that we're using things. So banning of the straws and the plastic straws and stuff like that. Again, major, massive changes in the environment.